Axis is a true Canadian manufacturer of lighting. We are based out of Montreal, Quebec, founded in 1991, family owned and operated to this day. So we're privately owned. We have a 125,000 square foot manufacturing facility, over 800 employees. We're covering all of North America, starting to get into some projects in Latin America as well. And we do occasionally look at projects overseas, depending on the size and scope. So if you're ever working on something internationally or overseas, please reach out and let us know, and we'll see if we can help you out. So over the years, just a brief overview of our portfolio. We were traditionally known as the architectural grade linear lighting solutions provider. And then over time, we've really diversified and gotten into a whole whack of different things, be it our stencil or stencil flex configurable or systemized family. You have our sketch family with all these curves that we're going to talk about today, slate for integration into wood ceilings. Then we have our perimeter options. We have our new wet location extend series that's taken over for the old wet beam. And then a few years back, we got into healthcare with our balance care line. But today we are talking about sketch. So over 10 years ago, we launched our first generation of sketch. It was available as a pendant mount or a recess mount. It was around just over 4 inches in width. And this was our first foray into curved type linear product. Before that, we'd only really done straight, squared, hard edge extrusions. And the market really took a hold of this. This was an installation we supplied years ago for this children's library. And then this is another installation we actually supplied last year just outside of Toronto for Humber College retail store. Really slick. We could do a lot with sketch, but as the years went on, it was only available on one side. It was available on fairly fixed radii. We couldn't do any custom curves. And the market screened for smaller, the market screened for more flexible. So Generation 2 of Sketch was born, and we brought Sketch 2-inch to market end of November, early December last year. So our new family of Sketch starts with Sketch 2, and the ability to do a recess mount, a surface mount, a pendant mount, you name it. Being able to marry up a whole whack of different shapes and do stuff like this, where you have some custom arcs. Here's an example, a quick little video of us bending an extrusion at the factory here. Not super exciting, but just showing you that we don't outsource this. We do this in-house at the factory, as we do with a whack of other things in our production at Axis Lighting. So the entire family starts with the 2-inch. The 3-inch and 4-inch is going to follow. Direct, indirect for pendant mounts. As I said, recess, pendant, surface mount, clean design. The trim is actually semi-regressed. It's not flush to the bottom of that extrusion. It's slightly regressed, and it's an easy snap-in lens. For any recess applications, we're going to have a drywall flange or a spackle flange if you want that clean, trimless look. We'll have that snap-in style on the surface mount. And we are going to provide, and I'm going to show this later on in the presentation, mounting templates similar to what we provided for Generation 1 of the Sketch. That just makes it a lot easier for the overall installation on site. Overall product details with Sketch 2, we're at 3.5 inches of height, so it's not a super tall extrusion. We can get up to 1,100 lumens on the direct and 1,200 lumens per foot on the indirect, and achieving up to 120 lumens per watt, so getting still very high efficacies. We have standard shapes and radii, as you see at the bottom of this page, that are easy to specify, but we're also going to be able to do customizable radii. We're going to get as tight on that radius as 12 inches and then go from there. So while you see the standard radius table at the bottom there, you tell us the radius you're working with and we'll make it happen. You got a 33 inch radius, maybe you got an 88, you just tell us. And It's simplistic on the quote side as well. We're going to have a basic price for linear foot, and then we're going to have an adder price for any intersections and corners, and that's going to be pretty much it. So when you get a bill of material from us, it's not you're going to have not like you're going to have a bunch of line items that you're going to have to put together that corresponds to one shape. It's going to be a lot more simplistic. And then we're going to be able to do all these neat little intersections as you see on the bottom right image there. That's one example of an intersection we're doing where we can get that corner as sharp as 40 degrees. Not only that, the nice little detail we're doing on the lensing is that lensing at that intersection is going to one piece. So it's not like you're going to have four converging runs where you're going to have all of these lines at this intersection. It's going to look very clean in that center intersection. Overall performance, as I said, 1100 lumens per foot on the direct and 1200 lumens per foot on the indirect. Standard Lambertian distributions for now. We do not have any other distributions other than that at this time. And it's just utilizing a regular, what we call SO lens or spotless lens on both the direct and the indirect. Here's an example of our ordering guide for the pendant mount. So very similar to any other ordering guide with Axis, where you go through, you have your patterns that you're going to put together where you're using an oval, a circle, a soft rectangle, or a soft square, specifying total length, lumens, CCT, CRI, you name it, we got it. But if you're familiar with us at Axis, you should be familiar that we are not afraid of customization or modifications. I mean, last year alone, we documented over 1,000 individual customized SKUs. So if there's something on here that you don't see that you need, please reach out to Max2. Please reach out to us, and we'll get back to you on whether it's a yes or a no. But more often than not, it's a yes from Axis. Here's the ordering guide for the recess mount here. So when I touched on the mounting template for the recessed installation, this is what I meant. And this is what we provided as a template for a previous generation one of the sketch recess, where we ship out these mounting plates ahead of time that you lay out on the floor and whatever shape or pattern you're working with, you connect them. And then how you place them into the ceiling is you transfer them up there to the ceiling using lasers from the floor. So once you get it framed up in the ceiling, that just tells the drywallers who are framing in the ceiling exactly where that fixture is going. So there's no guesswork and they don't have to worry about cutting away a lot of drywall after the fact when the fixture shows up on site. And the 3-inch and 4-inch family sketch, this is coming in April. Preliminary cut sheets I have on the screen here. Not much to it, just a bigger size than the 2-inch for the 3-inch and 4-inch. But the really neat thing about this family is the height of the extrusions are the exact same. So you could have a 3-inch running through a 4-inch or vice versa. So you can have an intersection with two different sizes running through them. And then once the 3 and 4 launch, that is also going to trigger the launch shortly thereafter of a family of rings. Again, minimum radii is going to be 12 inches. Overall diameter minimum is going to be 24 inches, but 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch rings where you can do surface mount, recess mount, pendant mount, wall mount. And then complex patterns and intersections. That middle image is actually a design we're working on that originated out of LA that we're working on bringing to life right now. So this is the beauty of sketch. That little literal sketch there wasn't something my 4-year-old drew this morning. It's something a designer in LA decided they wanted to bring to life. So we're working on that right now. And then further down the line, around the end of 2025, we're going to also be able to do both RGB plus W and the microlight and curves. For those of you not familiar with our microlight, we launched generation 2 of the microlight in October. This is what they look like here. So the microlight's what I like to call the new age baffle. or new age louver rather. Louvers are still inefficient. You're still losing a good amount of light in a louver. Where the microlight, you don't sacrifice those efficacies. You're getting the light exactly where you want it. And whether you're utilizing a matte or a glossy finish, um, you can really create a different look in that ceiling plane. So that's coming towards the end of this year. And that's everything for Sketch, folks. Short and sweet. I want to be cognizant of everyone's time today because everybody's busy these days. But thank you very much.